The purpose of this video is to talk about a lot that we have for sale. The lot is at 7380 Manasota Key Road in Englewood, Florida. The property has been in my family since 1964. My father bought the lot and also the land across the street and built a house on the beach side of the road, and he gifted it all to his mother and father, my grandparents. He gave it to them as a winter home and also as a home that could be used by all of their children and their families, both my family and my cousins' families. Eventually in 1997, my own family acquired the property for ourselves. We've enjoyed the home immensely for decades. My family members, my brothers and sisters and their children would visit in the winter, the spring, and even for summer vacations. The children and grandchildren played on the beach, adults would sunbathe. I personally did a lot of fishing, as it's a really excellent fishing area due to rocks and reefs directly off the beach. Unfortunately, in fall of 2024, the home was completely destroyed by Hurricane Milton, most of it being reduced to rubble. We just do not have the resources in our family to rebuild a new home. So we have reluctantly taken the step to put the property up for sale. The lot is still right now in the state it was after Hurricane Milton and pretty rough, but I have just contracted with a local experienced site clearing and demolition company, and they'll be coming in to completely clear the lot of debris and any remaining structures and otherwise get it clean and ready for immediate rebuilding by a buyer. And that work is going to be done this spring. The purpose of this video is to point out why I believe that our property is truly unique and different from any other lot for sale anywhere, maybe even in all of Florida. I know that sounds like an unbelievable claim and maybe just sales posturing and hyperbole, but please watch and listen to what I say and show in the video. And then you can feel free to investigate the claims I make in the video and decide for yourself whether what I'm claiming is in fact a true and accurate description of what I believe are truly unique benefits of our property over almost any other property that's out there. If you are shopping for a lot to build a home that you will really want to enjoy and want to use, you owe it to yourself to explore the unique and special benefits of this property that I'm going to lay out here. First and foremost, unlike about 99% of Florida beaches, our beach is always virtually empty. On any given day, you can look hundreds of yards down the beach to your south and a mile to your north, and you will seldom see more than a few people walking about or collecting shells. The front yard area and the road are the same, secluded, uncrowded, large lots, extremely light traffic on the only road that's there. We are 2 to 3 miles away from the nearest traffic light or intersection. It's a very quiet, wooded and grassy front yard with almost no traffic passing the house. As I say, about 99% of Florida beaches are quite crowded, especially on weekends at the busiest times of year. Now, some people want that. And if you are someone who prefers a beach full of people and with tiki restaurants, tiki bars, and tiki shopping across the street or next to your property, then this property is not for you. This property is for the buyer who is looking for a secluded, quiet, unpopulated area that is going to stay that way, where you walk down to the beach in the morning and you are alone, or one of just a few people in sight for a mile in either direction strolling the beach, where your front yard is equally quiet with almost no traffic or cars passing by. It is quiet and secluded, and it has remained that way unchanged since I first started coming here when I was a boy. Why is it that way? It's that way because of strict, permanent Sarasota County laws that strictly prohibit any crowding or commercialization in our part of Manasota Key. An actual Florida law, Chapter 71-904, officially set Manasota Key as what they call a conservation district, with strict restrictions on development and use. Sarasota County laws provide the following restrictions, for example, that apply to the portion of Manasota Key where our lot is located. First, under Sarasota County rules zoning law, No commercial building or business is permitted on Manasota Key. None at all. Zero commercial within 2 miles of our lot. There are no stores and no commercial buildings within miles of our property. The nearest traffic light is miles away. Second, Sarasota zoning rules permit only single-family structures with large lots. They only permit that in our part of Manasota Key. No multifamily buildings are permitted. No apartments, no condo units permitted, ever. Our property is miles from the nearest multifamily unit. Third, Sarasota County prohibits any weekly or other short-term rentals. Only monthly rentals are permitted, and frankly, those are very rare up on Manasota Key, even the monthly rentals. This keeps out the party crowd, and most rentals on the island, where they happen at all, are to older couples who rent long-term in the winter months, what they sometimes call the snowbirds. Together, these factors ensure a quiet, uncluttered, rustic area. It's all single-family vacation homes with large lots, wide spaces in between, and since they are mostly vacation homes and not full-time residents, even the nearby homes are often or usually unoccupied. That's why it tends to be a very quiet area with a very empty, unoccupied beach and a very laid-back lifestyle. Now let me go on and talk about access. Because when you hear this, it might scare you a bit and you wonder, well, geez, what if I do want restaurants or shopping? What am I going to do? About the only places where you will see such uncrowded beaches like ours are those on boat access only islands. But with these, you have the problem of being trapped with a major hassle and delay to get on and off that island. But Manasota Key is perfectly accessible. It has a north bridge and a south bridge, making access to and from the key perfectly easy. And our property, despite its extremely quiet and secluded nature, is only a short drive from full civilization. You are less than 15 minutes from whatever you want or need. You can stay or live in a quiet house with an empty seashell-filled beach all to your own, a sequestered grassy front yard, almost non-existent traffic, but you can get in your car and have immediate access to anything civilization has to offer in less than 15 minutes. Look at any map and you will see what I mean. I mean it. Go look at a map of Manasota Key and the surrounding areas. Our property is just a 10-minute drive down to the bottom of Manasota Key. And what's there is a Circle K convenience store, basically a mini grocery for any last-minute needs. Next to that are several excellent local restaurants, a beach store, and also a rental for boats and other water sport toys. This is a 10-minute drive. All just a 10-minute drive away. Going north and exiting by the North Bridge, it's less than a 50-minute drive to a shopping area that has a Walmart Supercenter, a Publix grocery store, a Home Depot, more restaurants, several different banks, and a number of other specialty shops and stores. And just a bit further of a drive, about 20 minutes, is Venice. Beautiful Venice, Florida, known as one of the prettiest and nicest tourist cities in all of Florida, with its famous Venice Avenue lined with cute shops and restaurants. There's everything in the world in Venice, all kinds of cute places. It's a 20-minute drive away. What other Florida property anywhere lets you live in a quiet, beautiful, secluded area with a beach that's practically all your own? But it's just a 10 or 20-minute drive from great restaurants and everything that civilization has to offer. It really is the best of all worlds. You may wonder, regarding the advantages that I've talked about so far, that, well, I may be making some very good points. But aren't these benefits I'm talking about also true for other Manasota Key properties that are also for sale? Wouldn't they apply to those also? Well, the simple answer is maybe not. Let me talk to you about a few special and unique benefits to our particular property compared even to other properties on Manasota Key. These are some benefits that you may not otherwise think of, or you might not have even been aware of them as being issues. Not all Manasota Key beach properties are the same. Some are not nearly as secluded as ours. Some have other issues. There are several key issues that make our property stand out over the rest, and let me explain what these are. 1. Manasota Key has 2 to 3 public beaches with large public parking lots. If you are too close to one of these, you are going to get spillover beach crowds on your beach behind your home. Again, maybe that's fine with you, and there are plenty of beaches in Florida with lots of people on them if you want that. But if you are someone who likes the idea of a more secluded beach without the crowds, then you want to be at least a quarter to a half mile away from the public beaches and their parking lots. There are 2 main public beaches on Manasota Key that are relevant. One is Manasota Beach Park, which is at the north end of the key, where the North Bridge comes across and meets Manasota Key. The other is Middle Pass Beach, which is located in the middle of the key. Each has lots of public parking, and each is very crowded on the nice weekends. And if you are within walking distance of these beaches and parking lots, you are going to see a lot of spillover crowd walking down to your beach. At 7380 Manasota Key, our property is nowhere near either of these public beaches. The North Park, Manasota Beach Park, is 2 miles away. We are 1 mile away from Middle Pass Park. In our area, it is only single-family homes with large lots, no public parking, and the vast majority of them are used as vacation homes, so that even the homes that are there are often empty. Unlike some other Manasota Key properties, we get no impact from a spillover beach crowd. So be careful if you look at Manasota Key properties to see that they are not too close to public parking. Also, let me talk about rock revetment. Revetment refers to a protection, like protective rocks to protect the beach from erosion. We, on our lot, have an existing rock revetment to prevent land erosion. And our property is grandfathered in to be allowed to keep this and also to supplement it or to maintain it as might be needed. We are one of just a minority of Manasota Beach property that is allowed to have a rock revetment, because years ago Sarasota County prohibited new rock revetments from being placed. Now, as I said, we have hired a site clearing company to come clear the post-Milton rubble and the down trees from our property and clean it up and turn it into a clean and neat property for rebuilding. And that work is scheduled to be done this spring. But as part of this, we have directed them to leave our rocks on the property and just move them up and place the rocks farther back from the water, enough to allow the property to have plenty of beach at all times, and to place them into a band of rocks. We are one of the few properties on Manasota Key that is permitted to have this protective rock revetment. Those that don't already have them are not permitted to have them, and they probably won't be permitted to have any other kind of shoreline protection either, such as a seawall. Again, if you have a serious interest in our property, I encourage you to investigate this. Any experienced coastal engineering firm in the area will be aware of the rules, and you can ask them. This is a real plus for our property, not shared by most Manasota Key properties. Another thing, easements and the lack thereof. Many of the Manasota Key beach properties have sold easements to the lots across the road, which are on the bay side of the road, because on the other side of Manasota Key is Lemon Bay. These allow the owners of such lots and their guests the legal right to enter onto and cross your beach property to reach the beach and use the beach right behind your home, behind the owner's home. These are deeded easements that run with the property, and the rights belong to whoever owns those bayside properties and who would purchase them in the future. Now, one might argue, and the owners of those lots will tell you, that they are innocuous easements sold to kindly older couples who are the nicest people and who seldom even use them. They'll cross over and chat and drop off some cookies, etc., etc. But here's the reality. That older couple across the street that the easement was sold to, they may have teenage or young adult grandchildren who will also have the right to access your property. And these may be very different kinds of people. They also have the right for them and there's maybe similar type friends to cross right next to your house. Use your beach right behind your house. Bring their beer chests or maybe even drug paraphernalia. They can look freely in the windows of your house as they pass by. If a fishing rod or other valuable item is left outside, it may disappear. Moreover, this is the same right that also extends to the friends of the owner of the lot or to their children's friends. These friends might even come on their own, knowing all they have to do is tell you and that they are friends of the Smiths across the street that the easement was sold to. And they can just claim they're friends of the Smiths and that the Smiths gave them access. How are you going to know whether it's true? And when the nice older couple sells their lot, who knows who they will sell it to? And of course, they may rent their lot, and who knows who they will rent it to. The harsh reality is, and it's the reality, that once you sell someone an easement, you basically give up your right to keep anyone off of your property. Anyone. Don't be told otherwise. You can't check IDs, and they can tell you they're friends of the property owner, and how will you know otherwise? You lose your right to control who has access to your property. But when you have given no one an easement, and then you find you have someone on your property that you don't want there, it becomes very simple. You tell the sheriff, no one has my permission to be on this property. This guy or these people are bothering me. They're on my land. Get them off. And nobody can try and claim that they have a right to be on your property if you say otherwise. You don't have to worry about proving anything. Years ago, in about 2005, we were offered $100,000 to sell a Gulf access easement to the lot across the street from us. And we turned it down for exactly the reasons I'm giving above. Because we knew that once we granted that easement to them, we would lose total control about who can come onto our property or have a right to be there. And we weren't about to give that up. There's nothing on the deed, if you're going to buy a property, that will let you know whether that easement has been sold or whether there's an easement that they've granted across the street. The only way to find that out is like a property search. Many of the Gulf properties have granted easements. Avoid them and avoid trouble. Many of them have these easements and they're to be avoided. Just a few other points I want to make. Some people say that this is the best area in the world to find shells and shark teeth. Venice, Florida, 5 or 10 miles to our north, and its surrounding areas, including Manasota Key, have been crowned the shark tooth capital of the world. Look it up on the internet. Google Venice or Google shark tooth capital of the world and you'll see. It's not just a good place for shells and shark teeth. It's a great place for shells and shark teeth, especially when you consider you won't have much competition to find them. Go out in the morning after a big storm has just moved past that had been bringing in like large waves, and you will not believe how many great shells and shark teeth you're going to find. When I feel like it from time to time over the years, I often walk down to the beach and find 5 to 10 shark teeth in less than 15 minutes. And the beauty, again, is that there's almost no competition for the best shells because the beach is so empty. It's also a great area for fishing. I talked about that a little bit. There is virtually no competition or no one in your way when you go fishing. You're going to be all alone or maybe see one other fisherman on the beach. We would also go out and snorkel with spear guns. I didn't do it, but my nephews and son did. And they had a lot of success with that. I'm a big fisherman, though, and I've caught many redfish, speckled trout, snook, sheephead, a flounder here and there. When the Spanish mackerel come in, boy, that action is fast. There's lots of rocks in this area that are off the beach, all kinds of rock reefs, both north and south of us, that start a little bit off the beach, and that's what really brings in all kinds of fish in our area. About 70 yards to our south, there's a well-known rock complex where the charter boats are always coming in with their charters and letting their people fish on the rocks. So we can walk down a short time right down the beach to an area that people are driving miles on a boat to get to that same place. It really is excellent fishing by our house. due to the many reefs and the rocks in that area. Everything is about reefs when it comes to finding fish. A last point, this is a big sea turtle nesting area. People really get a kick out of this. Very big area for turtle nesting. In fact, in the spring and summer, we are asked not to turn on bright lights at the side of the house that faces the beach unless we put the shades down, because they say the light may disorient the nesting turtles or when they're on their way in. They mark the turtle nest with yellow tape or orange tape, kind of like you see at a crime scene, and you'll see lots of turtle nests marked on the beach. As I said, this is not some crowded public beach. It's much more back to nature. Just to kind of give a conclusion, I just want to explain here, and I have tried to, why I think our property is so unique. If you're interested, there's no reason to rely on what I'm saying. Visit the property. Take a look at the beach yourself. Bring a chair and sit down on the beach for an hour or two and see how many other people you see. Okay? Come on a Saturday when you'd expect it to be crowded. Sit in a chair for an hour and just see how many people that you're able to see. Check out the traffic on the road. Check out the Sarasota County building codes and the rules that I mentioned. You will see that this is indeed a very unique, one-of-a-kind property. And I just wanted to make those points. Thank you.